Imagine standing in the middle of the Egyptian desert over 4,500 years ago. Before you rises a colossal stone guardian with the body of a lion and the face of a king. It is longer than a Boeing 747, taller than a six-story building, and carved from a single piece of limestone. For thousands of years, it has silently watched the pyramids, surviving sandstorms, wars, earthquakes, and entire civilizations rising and falling around it. This is the Great Sphinx of Giza, and despite being one of the most famous monuments on Earth, historians still argue over one surprisingly simple question. Who actually built it? You might think archaeologists solved this mystery long ago. After all, we've discovered royal tombs, ancient temples, and even the villages where pyramid workers lived. But strangely, no ancient Egyptian text clearly states who built the Sphinx, why it was built, or exactly when construction began. For a monument this enormous, that silence is almost unbelievable. Naturally, the mystery has inspired countless theories. Some people claim the Sphinx is far older than the pyramids themselves. Others believe it was built by a forgotten civilization that existed before ancient Egypt. Some even argue that aliens were involved. But before following those extraordinary ideas, we should first examine what the evidence actually tells us. Most Egyptologists believe the Great Sphinx was built around 2500 BC during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre, the ruler responsible for Egypt's second pyramid at Giza. The Sphinx sits directly beside Khafre's pyramid complex. Its temple aligns with other buildings connected to his reign, and the stone blocks removed while carving the Sphinx were later used to construct nearby temples that archaeologists confidently date to Khafre's time. Even the face of the Sphinx appears to resemble statues of Khafre discovered nearby. For many historians, the case seems almost closed. But then the questions begin. If Khafre truly ordered the Sphinx to be built, why didn't he leave behind a single inscription claiming credit? Ancient Egyptian pharaohs loved recording their achievements. They filled temple walls with victories, monuments, and grand building projects. Yet nowhere does Khafre proudly declare, "I built the Great Sphinx." That missing evidence has puzzled researchers for generations. Unlike the pyramids, built by stacking millions of carefully cut stone blocks, the Sphinx wasn't assembled piece by piece. Ancient workers carved it directly from a massive limestone ridge already rising from the Giza Plateau. Imagine finding a giant hill of solid rock and slowly transforming it into a monument without moving it. That required incredible planning. One mistake could ruin the entire sculpture forever. Workers removed huge blocks of limestone surrounding the natural outcrop. Those blocks weren't wasted. Archaeologists believe many were immediately reused to construct the nearby Sphinx temple. The monument and its temple were essentially created from the same quarry at almost the same time. As the surrounding stone disappeared, the shape of the Sphinx slowly emerged from the bedrock itself. But the limestone wasn't equally strong. Some layers were soft and eroded quickly. Others were much harder. Over thousands of years, wind, rain, and desert sand wore away the softer layers, leaving the Sphinx badly damaged. Today, its body shows deep grooves and heavy erosion that have fueled one of the greatest archaeological debates of modern times. Some researchers argue those erosion patterns weren't caused by wind at all. They believe they were created by flowing water. If that's true, everything we think we know about the Sphinx could change. The last time Egypt experienced that level of rainfall was thousands of years before the pyramids were built. That would place the Sphinx in a time far earlier than any known Egyptian civilization. Could the Sphinx really be much older than historians believe? Or is there another explanation hiding beneath centuries of weathering? The answer has divided experts for decades, and solving that mystery may finally reveal who built the Great Sphinx and why. The idea that water shaped the Sphinx didn't become famous until the late 20th century. Some geologists noticed deep vertical cracks and rounded erosion patterns in the monument's enclosure. They argued these marks looked more like damage from long periods of heavy rainfall than from wind carrying desert sand. If they were correct, the implications would be enormous. The last time Egypt experienced that kind of wet climate, no pharaoh yet ruled. That would mean the Sphinx was built by an unknown civilization that existed before the rise of ancient Egypt. It's a dramatic theory, and naturally, it captured the world's imagination. But most Egyptologists remain unconvinced. They argue the erosion can be explained without rewriting history. The Sphinx has spent more than 4,000 years exposed to changing temperatures, occasional rain, groundwater, salt crystals, and constant desert winds. Together, those forces are enough to produce the weathering seen today. In archaeology, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And so far, no ancient city, tools, inscriptions, or artifacts have been discovered pointing to an advanced civilization older than Egypt building the Sphinx. Then there's another mystery. Many researchers believe the Sphinx's head appears unusually small compared to its massive body. One possibility is that the original limestone ridge simply wasn't shaped evenly, forcing sculptors to carve a smaller head than intended. Another more controversial theory suggests the monument may have originally had a different head, perhaps a lion, later reshaped into the face of a pharaoh. No convincing archaeological evidence proves this, but it remains one of the monument's most intriguing questions. The Sphinx has also lost its nose. Contrary to popular belief, Napoleon's soldiers were not responsible. Historical records suggest it was deliberately damaged in the 14th century, likely as an act of religious iconoclasm, the deliberate destruction of a sacred image. The body also spent long periods buried beneath desert sand, with only the giant head remaining visible above the surface. It wasn't until excavation projects in the 19th and 20th centuries that workers finally uncovered the full monument once again. Today, ground-penetrating radar and laser scanning are giving archaeologists new ways to investigate without damaging it. These studies have revealed hidden cavities and internal features, though none have uncovered a secret chamber or lost library beneath the monument. Instead, they reveal something just as remarkable. The Sphinx is a masterpiece of ancient engineering. Shaping a single block of natural limestone into a monument over 73 meters long required extraordinary planning, skilled craftsmen, and years of dedicated labor. Even today, recreating such a project would be an enormous challenge. So, who really built the Sphinx? Based on the strongest archaeological evidence, the most likely answer is Pharaoh Khafre's builders, working around 2500 BC. The location, nearby temples, quarry evidence, and artistic style all point in that direction. Yet one important truth remains. Unlike the Great Pyramid, the Sphinx has never given us a clear inscription naming its creator. That single missing piece of evidence leaves just enough room for debate. And perhaps that's why the Sphinx continues to fascinate us more than almost any other monument on Earth. It doesn't simply guard the pyramids. It guards a mystery that has survived empires, inspired countless theories, and challenged generations of archaeologists. For over 4,000 years, the Great Sphinx has watched humanity's search for answers. And despite all our technology, all our research, and all our discoveries, its greatest secret may still be the identity of the people who first looked at a lonely ridge of limestone and imagined a stone guardian that would outlive history itself.